Welcome back. Here's a video tutorial for graphing lines with slope-intercept form. We'll go over how to do this. Now, we'll start off with the equation framework. The equation looks like this. We have y equals mx plus b, where m is going to be our slope and the plus b is going to be our y-intercept. First, start with the plus b. This is a point 0 plus b on the y-axis. So for your coordinate plane, you have an x-axis and a y-axis. You're going to take that plus b, that value, and put it along your y-axis. You'll have a point 0 comma plus b, whatever this value is here. Second, follow the slope. That's equal to the m value. Now, if it's not written as a fraction, you're going to want to convert it to a fraction. You'll have a fraction bar. On the top is going to be the change in y. We think of that as our rise. And on the bottom, we'll have our change in x. That's our run. Think of rise over run. And this is something you can count. So it doesn't matter which way you count it, but I'll count my run first. So count the change in x. You'll get to a new point, and then vertically count your change in y. If this was negative, it would go down. Connect 0 comma plus b, this first point, and the end of the slope, so the point right here, to create the line. Now any point along here, any x comma y value, is going to satisfy your original equation, meaning that if you plug in x for x point on the line, you'll get a y value that'll make this equation true. Let's try some examples. So we're going to graph y equals 1/2 x plus 3. We have our coordinate plane. And we're going to start with our y-intercept, our plus b. It's plus 3 here. So we put that onto the y-axis at 0 comma 3. And then we're going to follow our slope. Our m here is 1/2. And you can count 2 as the change in your x, so positive 2, and then count 1 as your change in y. You go up 1. Now I have a new point. I only need these 2 points, but I can continue with the slope, so 2 to the right, 1 up. And this will make my line more accurate. So the more points you have on that line continuing with the slope, the more accurate your line will be using pencil and paper. But this becomes, all you really need is these first 2 points. You can graph this line if you're really accurate. Let's try our second example. Number 2 says y equals negative x plus 2. We're going to have our coordinate plane, our x and our y-axis. We're going to start off with our plus b. It's plus 2 here. So I'm going to graph that on the y-axis. Then I'm going to follow my slope. Now if there's no value next to x, we're going to assume that's 1. And if we have negative 1 becomes our slope. So I can say that m equals negative 1 here. If I want to write this, I'm going to have to convert this into a fraction. So negative 1, the value, I can rewrite that as negative 1 over 1. If ever it's a whole number or an integer, put 1 in the denominator and it becomes a fraction without changing the value. Now, what does this mean? That means 1 is going to be the count of the change in x. So from that point 0 comma 2, we count 1 in the x direction, and then negative 1 is going to be the count for the change in the y, our rise. That's going to be negative 1. Now I can continue this pattern of 1 to the right, 1 down, 1 to the right, 1 down, 1 to the right, 1 down. And this will give me a more accurate line. But I really only need those first 2 points, and I can draw that line. And every point on this line will satisfy this original equation. Let me know if you have any questions. Please be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I hope you have a great day.